Number 1. This 1964 Ford Fairlane 500 is exactly the kind of classic car that reminds me why survivor vehicles have become so popular in recent years. In my opinion, not every vintage car needs a six-figure restoration or a massive V8 swap to be interesting. Sometimes the most enjoyable classics are the ones that have simply survived decades of use while retaining most of their original character, and this Fairlane seems to fit that description perfectly. The first thing that jumps out from the listing is the asking price. At $6,500, this Fairlane sits in a category that is becoming increasingly difficult to find. Honestly, many classic cars today have climbed so high in value that affordable entry points into the hobby are disappearing. That's why a running, driving, mostly original 1964 Fairlane immediately catches my attention. One detail that's impossible to ignore is the mileage. The listing shows 700,000 miles, which is an incredible number if accurate. Personally, I suspect the figure may simply reflect odometer limitations or multiple rollovers over the decades, but regardless of the actual mileage, what matters most is the fact that the car still starts, runs, shifts, and drives. And honestly, that's pretty impressive for a vehicle that is now over 60 years old. Under the hood sits the original 260 cubic inch V8, producing around 164 horsepower. In my opinion, the little 260 deserves more appreciation than it usually receives. It was one of Ford's early small-block V8 engines and played an important role in the company's history during the early 1960s. No, it isn't a high-horsepower muscle car engine, but that's not really the point. The 260 was designed to provide smooth, reliable performance, and the fact that this example remains in place today adds to the authenticity of the vehicle. Personally, I think originality has its own appeal. Anyone can install a bigger engine, but finding a classic car that still carries its factory V8 after all these decades is becoming increasingly uncommon. The original Ford-O-Matic 2-speed automatic transmission is another interesting feature. By modern standards, a 2-speed automatic sounds primitive, but in the context of a mid-1960s cruiser, it fits perfectly. I can imagine this Fairlane delivering a relaxed and uncomplicated driving experience. You're not racing from stoplight to stoplight. You're simply enjoying a piece of automotive history and appreciating how people traveled during a completely different era. One thing I really like about this listing is the honesty. The seller openly mentions that the front end still needs rebuilding, while also explaining that new brakes, shocks, rear bushings, and other maintenance items have already been installed. Personally, I appreciate that kind of transparency. It tells me the seller isn't trying to present the car as flawless. Instead, they're giving a realistic picture of what the next owner can expect. The exterior is perhaps my favorite aspect of this Fairlane. According to the seller, the car still wears its original paint, complete with natural patina. In my opinion, authentic patina often tells a better story than a fresh repaint. Every scratch, faded section, and weathered area reflects decades of history. There's something special about seeing a car that looks its age in an honest way. The seller notes that the body has a few dings and dents, but honestly, that's part of the charm for many enthusiasts today. Survivor cars have become increasingly desirable because they're only original once. The blue-on-blue color combination also feels very period-correct. Personally, I think Ford offered some fantastic colors during the early 1960s, and blue tends to complement the Fairlane's simple, elegant styling particularly well. Another detail that stands out is the condition of the trim. The seller describes the stainless trim, grille, headlight surrounds, and rear trim as being in almost perfect condition. For a car of this age, that's actually a huge positive. Replacement trim pieces can be difficult and expensive to locate, especially if you're trying to maintain originality. Having clean, undamaged factory trim significantly enhances the car's appearance and value. The aftermarket lap and shoulder seat belts are another upgrade I appreciate. While they don't change the character of the vehicle, they add an element of safety that many classic cars lack. The addition of 17-inch American Racing Chrome Torque thrust wheels also gives the car a slightly more aggressive stance while remaining true to its vintage personality. Personally, I think torque thrust wheels look good on almost any classic American car, and the seller's choice here seems fitting. The trunk and floors are described as not perfect but far from being a rust bucket. In my opinion, that's actually reassuring because it sounds realistic. Very few unrestored 60-year-old vehicles are completely flawless underneath. What matters is that the structure appears solid enough to enjoy and improve over time. One comment from the seller really stood out to me. They say, "Yeah, I know it's a four-door, but this thing is a damn cool affordable survivor." Honestly, I agree. Four-door classics don't always receive the same attention as hardtops or coupes, but they often provide tremendous value. You get the same styling, the same driving experience, and the same historical appeal at a fraction of the cost. And in today's market, affordability matters. At $6,500, this Fairlane isn't pretending to be a show car or a concours restoration. It sounds like an honest survivor that can be driven, enjoyed, and improved as time goes on. Overall, in my opinion, this 1964 Ford Fairlane 500 represents one of the most appealing types of classic cars, an affordable, mostly original survivor with genuine character. The original 260 V8, factory transmission, authentic patina, solid trim, recent maintenance, and approachable price make it a compelling entry into vintage Ford ownership. It may not be the fastest or rarest Fairlane on the market, but it offers something equally valuable: authenticity, personality, and the chance to own a real piece of American automotive history without breaking the bank. And honestly, that's what makes this car so interesting. Number 2. 1965 Ford Fairlane 500 Sport Coupe. This 1965 Ford Fairlane 500 Sport Coupe is a well-preserved and thoughtfully upgraded classic Ford that offers a compelling combination of vintage styling, proven reliability, and modern drivability enhancements. Finished in blue with a black interior, this Fairlane captures the clean, muscular design language that helped make Ford's mid-size models increasingly popular during the height of the American performance era. With its reported Texas heritage, low ownership history, and numerous mechanical improvements, this example appears to be a practical classic that can be enjoyed immediately rather than requiring extensive restoration work. The 1965 model year occupies a special place in Fairlane history. Ford had refined the platform into a stylish and versatile intermediate car that appealed to a wide range of buyers. It was large enough to provide comfort and practicality while remaining lighter and more agile than the company's full-size offerings. These characteristics eventually helped establish the Fairlane as the foundation for many of Ford's most respected muscle cars later in the decade. According to the seller, this particular Fairlane spent much of its life in Texas. For classic car enthusiasts, that detail is often viewed as a major advantage because dry climate vehicles generally experience less corrosion than cars that spent decades in regions with harsh winters and road salt. The seller also reports that the car retains its clean title and shows approximately 81,220 original miles, suggesting a relatively well-preserved example that has not been excessively driven throughout its lifetime. Under the hood sits a rebuilt 302 cubic inch Ford the 5th 8. The 302 is one of Ford's most legendary small-block engines, respected for its durability, simplicity, and excellent balance of performance and reliability. According to the listing, the engine was rebuilt and has accumulated only about 4,000 miles since completion. A mild performance camshaft and 4-barrel carburetor have also been installed, providing improved breathing and a more responsive driving experience without sacrificing everyday usability. The combination of the rebuilt 302 and automatic transmission makes this Fairlane especially appealing for enthusiasts who want a classic cruiser rather than a dedicated race car. The engine modifications appear to have been selected with drivability in mind, offering a noticeable performance improvement while maintaining the smooth manners necessary for regular street use. One of the most significant upgrades is the front disc brake conversion combined with a dual master cylinder system. Many classic vehicles from the mid-1960s were originally equipped with four-wheel drum brakes, which can require greater stopping distances and more maintenance than modern systems. The addition of front disc brakes improves safety, braking consistency, and overall confidence behind the wheel. For many enthusiasts, this is one of the most desirable upgrades that can be made to a vintage driver. The Fairlane also retains factory power steering, a feature that greatly enhances maneuverability and comfort. According to the seller, the power steering system was rebuilt only 2 months ago, indicating recent attention to one of the vehicle's key mechanical systems. At the same time, the carburetor was rebuilt, helping ensure proper fuel delivery and reliable engine performance. Comfort was also considered when this Fairlane was originally ordered. The vehicle is equipped with factory air conditioning, a highly desirable option that remains valuable today. While the seller does not specifically mention whether the AC is currently operational, factory air conditioning is an attractive feature that enhances both originality and potential comfort. The interior has also received attention, with the front seats reportedly reupholstered 2 years ago. Fresh seat upholstery helps improve both appearance and comfort while preserving the car's overall presentation. Combined with the black interior color, the cabin likely offers a classic and sporty atmosphere that complements the exterior styling. Additional practical upgrades include a one-wire alternator conversion. Rather than using a modern alternator that would stand out visually, the owner selected a Ford-style front housing that preserves the original appearance of the engine bay. This type of modification reflects a thoughtful approach to modernization, improving reliability while maintaining the car's period-correct look. The seller also notes that the tires are only about a year old. This may seem like a small detail, but fresh tires are an important benefit for any classic vehicle. New rubber improves safety, ride quality, and handling while reducing one of the common expenses often faced by new owners. From my perspective, this fairlane occupies a very attractive position in the classic car market. It is not an untouched survivor nor an over-restored showpiece. Instead, it appears to be a carefully maintained driver that combines originality with sensible upgrades. The rebuilt 302, front disc brakes, power steering, factory air conditioning, and recent maintenance work create a package that is far easier to enjoy than many fully stock classics from the same era. The asking price is particularly noteworthy. Finding a running, driving, rust-conscious mid-1960s Ford with a rebuilt V8, upgraded brakes, and recent maintenance for around $11,000 is becoming increasingly difficult. For enthusiasts seeking an affordable entry into the classic Ford hobby, this Fairlane offers considerable value. Overall, this 1965 Ford Fairlane 500 Sport Coupe appears to be a solid and enjoyable classic that successfully balances authenticity, reliability, and usability. Its Texas history, rebuilt 302 V8, factory options, upgraded braking system, and recent mechanical work make it an appealing choice for anyone looking for a vintage Ford that can be driven and appreciated immediately. This 1965 Ford Fairlane 500 Sport Coupe is located in Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and is currently being offered for sale at an asking price of $11,000 or best offer. Number 3. 1970 Mercury Marauder X100. This 1970 Mercury Marauder X100 is a remarkably preserved example of Mercury's full-size personal luxury performance coupe, a vehicle that combined big block power, distinctive styling, and premium comfort at a time when American automakers were producing some of their most memorable automobiles. Finished in beige over a green interior, this Marauder X100 represents a rare survivor that has remained largely original throughout its life and offers a unique opportunity to own one of Mercury's most distinctive models from the peak of the muscle car era. Under the hood sits Ford's legendary 429 cubic inch V8 engine, one of the most respected big block power plants of the period. Known for its abundant torque, smooth power delivery, and exceptional durability, the 429 was designed to move large vehicles effortlessly while still providing impressive acceleration when called upon. In a full-size coupe like the Marauder, the engine delivers the kind of relaxed yet powerful cruising experience that defined American grand touring cars of the early 1970s. The engine is paired with an automatic transmission, creating a combination perfectly suited to the Marauder's luxury-oriented mission. Rather than focusing on aggressive performance driving, this drivetrain was engineered to provide smooth, effortless acceleration and comfortable highway travel. Whether cruising through town or covering long distances on the interstate, the big block and automatic transmission work together to make the car feel composed and confident. One of the most impressive aspects of this particular vehicle is its documented ownership history. According to the seller, the car has had only 2 owners and shows 141,820 original documented miles. Even more notable is the fact that the previous owner reportedly kept the vehicle for 29 years. Long-term ownership often suggests a higher level of care and preservation, especially when combined with the seller's claim that the car remains highly original. The exterior retains the elegant styling that made the Marauder X100 stand apart from other full-size American coupes. The long hood, sweeping roofline, and substantial proportions give the car an unmistakable road presence. Mercury positioned the X100 as a premium offering, and its styling reflected that goal with a more upscale and sophisticated appearance than many of its competitors. The beige exterior is complemented by a green interior, a color combination that perfectly captures the design trends of the late 1960s and early 1970s. While modern buyers often gravitate toward more conventional color combinations, period-correct interiors like this one help preserve the authenticity and historical character of the vehicle. For enthusiasts who appreciate originality, these details can significantly enhance the car's appeal. A standout feature of this Marauder is the number of factory components that remain operational. The seller reports that the interior courtesy lights are functioning correctly, along with the hideaway headlights and sequential-style rear lighting system. These distinctive features were among the Marauder's most memorable design elements and contribute significantly to its unique personality. Hideaway headlights in particular have become increasingly desirable among collectors due to their complexity and visual impact. Comfort features also appear to be in working order. Both the air conditioning and heating systems are reported to function properly, a noteworthy accomplishment for a vehicle that is more than 5 decades old. Maintaining operational climate control systems in classic cars can often require significant investment, making this a valuable feature for future owners who plan to drive and enjoy the vehicle regularly. Perhaps the most significant claim in the listing is the statement that the car is completely rust-free. Rust is often one of the greatest concerns when evaluating any vintage automobile, especially large American cars that may have spent decades exposed to varying climates. A rust-free body provides a strong foundation for preservation and helps protect the long-term value of the vehicle. Mechanically, the seller notes only one significant issue: an exhaust leak. While this will require attention, it is generally considered a relatively straightforward repair compared to major engine, transmission, or structural problems. Aside from this concern, the seller states that the vehicle runs and drives great, suggesting that the Marauder remains a highly usable classic. The X100 designation is particularly important because it represented the top-tier Marauder trim level. These models featured additional luxury appointments and unique styling elements that distinguished them from standard Mercury offerings. As a result, surviving X100 examples tend to attract greater interest among collectors and enthusiasts familiar with Mercury's history. In today's collector market, full-size personal luxury coupes have begun receiving increased appreciation as enthusiasts look beyond the more commonly collected muscle cars. Vehicles like the Marauder X100 offer a unique combination of big block performance, comfort, rarity, and period styling that is difficult to replicate with modern automobiles. Located in Fort Wayne, Indiana, this 1970 Mercury Marauder X100 is offered at an asking price of $18,900. Considering its 429 V8 engine, documented 2-owner history, 29 years of long-term ownership, rust-free condition, functioning hideaway headlights, operational air conditioning, clean title, and largely original presentation, this Marauder represents a compelling value in the classic car market. Overall, this 1970 Mercury Marauder X100 is an outstanding example of a forgotten American luxury performance coupe. It combines big block power, unique styling, impressive originality, and everyday usability into a package that stands apart from the more common muscle cars of the era. For enthusiasts seeking a distinctive full-size classic with authentic character and strong preservation, this Marauder offers a rare and rewarding ownership opportunity. Number 4. A beautifully presented 1968 Buick GS400 convertible that combines luxury, performance, and open-air cruising into one highly desirable classic American package. Finished in an attractive blue exterior paired with a white interior, this Grand Sport captures the spirit of Buick's muscle car era while maintaining the refinement and comfort that helped separate Buick from many of its competitors during the late 1960s. According to the seller, the car needs nothing and is ready to be driven, enjoyed, and displayed, making it an appealing option for enthusiasts seeking a turnkey classic rather than a restoration project. The Buick GS400 was one of the division's premier performance models during the muscle car era. While brands such as Chevrolet, Pontiac, and Dodge often received most of the attention, Buick quietly produced some of the most capable and sophisticated muscle cars of the period. The GS, which stands for Grand Sport, was designed to combine strong V8 performance with upscale appointments, creating a vehicle that could deliver excitement without sacrificing comfort. At the heart of this convertible is Buick's legendary 400 cubic inch V8. Known for its impressive torque output and smooth power delivery, the GS400 engine earned a reputation as one of the strongest street engines of its time. Unlike some high-strung performance engines that required constant attention, Buick's big block V8 was engineered to provide effortless acceleration and comfortable highway cruising. Even decades later, enthusiasts continue to appreciate the engine's durability and unique character. The engine benefits from several recent upgrades that help improve reliability and performance. A brand new aluminum intake manifold has been installed along with a 650 CFM carburetor, allowing for improved airflow and throttle response. These upgrades can help the engine breathe more efficiently while maintaining the classic feel expected from a vintage muscle car. Additionally, a new distributor and ignition coil contribute to dependable starting and consistent performance. Backing the V8 is a recently rebuilt turbo 400 automatic transmission equipped with a shift kit. The TH400 is widely regarded as one of the strongest automatic transmissions ever produced by General Motors. Its reputation for durability has made it a favorite among performance enthusiasts for decades. The addition of a shift kit provides firmer and more positive gear changes, enhancing the driving experience without sacrificing the ease of an automatic transmission. The seller also reports that the rear suspension has received significant attention, including new springs and shocks. These components are essential for maintaining ride quality and stability, particularly in a large convertible. Fresh suspension parts help restore the car's original driving characteristics while improving comfort and control during highway cruising. Stopping power has likewise been addressed through a comprehensive brake system refresh. New brakes have been installed at all four corners, including new rotors and drums. This is an important upgrade for any classic vehicle because braking performance plays a major role in both safety and driving confidence. With these components recently replaced, the next owner can enjoy the car with greater peace of mind. One of the most attractive features of this GS400 is its convertible body style. Open-top muscle cars have always held a special place among collectors because they offer a unique driving experience that hardtops simply cannot replicate. Whether cruising through town, attending local car shows, or taking scenic weekend drives, a convertible adds an extra level of enjoyment and connection to the driving experience. The seller notes that a brand new convertible top and rear window have been installed within the past year. This is a significant investment and one that enhances both the appearance and practicality of the vehicle. A fresh top not only improves weather protection but also contributes substantially to the car's overall presentation. Visually, the blue exterior paired with the white interior creates a classic and elegant color combination. During the late 1960s, Buick often emphasized sophistication alongside performance, and this combination reflects that philosophy perfectly. The contrast between the exterior and interior colors helps highlight the car's lines while giving it a timeless appearance that remains attractive today. Another recent improvement is the installation of a brand new set of mufflers. While seemingly simple, fresh exhaust components can greatly improve sound quality and overall driving enjoyment. The GS400's V8 is known for producing a deep and authoritative exhaust note, and a properly functioning exhaust system helps ensure that character remains intact. From my perspective, one of the strongest aspects of this Buick is its balance. It offers genuine muscle car credentials through its GS400 heritage while maintaining a level of comfort and refinement that many competitors lacked. The extensive list of recent maintenance and upgrades suggests that the seller has invested significantly in keeping the car roadworthy and enjoyable rather than simply preserving it as a static collector piece. At an asking price of $34,500, this 1968 Buick GS400 convertible appears to offer solid value in today's classic car market. Comparable convertible muscle cars from the same era often command significantly higher prices, especially when they require restoration work. The fact that this example is described as needing nothing and has received numerous recent upgrades makes it particularly appealing for buyers who want immediate enjoyment rather than a lengthy project. Overall, this 1968 Buick GS400 convertible represents a compelling blend of performance, luxury, and classic American style. With its powerful 400 cubic inch V8, rebuilt TH400 transmission, fresh suspension and brake components, new convertible top, and attractive color combination, it appears well prepared for weekend cruises, local shows, and years of continued enjoyment. For enthusiasts who appreciate the often overlooked muscle car offerings from Buick, this grand sport stands out as a highly desirable and well-maintained example. Number 5. 1970 Ford Galaxie 500 XL. This 1970 Ford Galaxie 500 XL represents one of the last chapters of Ford's full-size performance and luxury era before the industry shifted toward smaller, more fuel-conscious vehicles in the years that followed. Finished in a striking red exterior over a white interior, this Galaxie captures the bold styling and commanding road presence that made full-size American cars so desirable during the late 1960s and early 1970s. The Galaxie name had been a cornerstone of Ford's lineup for more than a decade by 1970. Throughout its production run, the model earned a reputation for combining comfort, durability, and available V8 power in a package that appealed to a broad range of buyers. The XL trim level added an extra layer of sportiness and luxury, making it one of the more desirable versions of the Galaxie family. Buyers looking for a car that offered both upscale appointments and classic muscle era styling often gravitated toward the XL models. This particular example reportedly shows 99,000 miles and is described as having a clean title with no significant damage or major problems. While the seller provides limited details regarding the drivetrain, the vehicle's overall presentation suggests a complete, running classic that has remained intact rather than being heavily modified or dismantled over the years. One of the strongest visual aspects of this Galaxie is its color combination. The red exterior paired with a white interior creates a distinctly American look that was especially popular during the late 1960s and early 1970s. Even today, this combination gives the car a premium appearance and helps highlight the long body lines and chrome trim that characterize Ford's full-size offerings of the period. The XL package was designed to elevate the driving experience beyond that of a standard Galaxie. Depending on original specifications, XL models typically included upgraded interior materials, sportier trim, and additional comfort features that distinguish them from lower trim levels. These enhancements help position the Galaxie XL as a more upscale personal cruiser while maintaining the practicality of a full-size platform. Inside, the white interior likely provides a bright and spacious atmosphere that complements the car's large dimensions. Full-size Fords from this era were engineered with passenger comfort as a primary priority. Wide seating, generous legroom, and a smooth ride made them excellent highway cruisers capable of covering long distances with ease. For many enthusiasts today, these characteristics are precisely what make cars like the Galaxie so appealing compared to modern vehicles. The automatic transmission further reinforces the vehicle's grand touring personality. Rather than requiring constant driver input, the automatic setup allows for relaxed cruising and effortless operation, qualities that helped make the Galaxie a favorite among American families and road travelers when new. From a collector's standpoint, 1970 represents an interesting point in automotive history. The muscle car era was nearing its peak, yet full-size cars still dominated American roads. As a result, vehicles like the Galaxie 500 XL embody a unique blend of traditional American luxury and the performance-oriented attitude that defined the period. They offer a different experience from smaller muscle cars, emphasizing comfort, presence, and effortless cruising rather than outright speed. The seller notes that the vehicle belongs to a friend and that the listing is partly intended to gauge market interest. Even so, the asking price of $12,995 places this Galaxie in a range that may attract enthusiasts seeking a complete, full-size classic without the premium prices often associated with more famous muscle car models. One appealing aspect of Galaxie ownership is the relative affordability compared to some of Ford's other collector vehicles. While Mustangs and high-performance Torino models often command substantial prices, full-size Galaxies can still provide tremendous value, offering classic styling, spacious interiors, and strong collector appeal at a more accessible cost. From my perspective, the biggest attraction of this 1970 Galaxie 500 XL is its combination of presence and practicality. The XL trim, attractive red and white color scheme, automatic transmission, and clean presentation make it the kind of classic that can be enjoyed regularly rather than simply displayed. It captures the spirit of an era when American cars were built to dominate the open road with comfort and style. Located in Holcombe, Wisconsin, this 1970 Ford Galaxie 500 XL is offered at $12,995. With its clean title, desirable XL trim level, eye-catching color combination, and classic full-size Ford character, it presents an appealing opportunity for collectors and enthusiasts looking to own a piece of America's golden age of automotive design. For someone seeking a comfortable cruiser with vintage appeal and strong road presence, this Galaxie may be a particularly attractive option. Number 6. This 1965 Ford Fairlane 500 Sport Coupe is the kind of classic Ford that I think often flies under the radar, yet offers tremendous value for enthusiasts who appreciate vintage American cars. In my opinion, the mid-60s Fairlane strikes a perfect balance between the compact Falcons of the early 1960s and the larger muscle cars that would soon dominate the streets. It has clean styling, V8 power, and just enough size to feel substantial without being overwhelming. The first thing that catches my attention is the body style. Being a sport coupe immediately gives this Fairlane a more desirable look compared to a standard sedan. Personally, I've always thought the 1965 Fairlane had some of the cleanest lines Ford produced during the decade. The proportions are simple and elegant, and the design has aged remarkably well. The blue exterior combined with a black interior sounds like a timeless combination. In my opinion, blue is one of those colors that works exceptionally well on classic Fords because it highlights the body lines without being overly flashy. Paired with a black interior, It creates a sporty appearance that still feels sophisticated more than 60 years after the car left the factory. One of the strongest selling points in this listing is the claimed 58,000 original miles. While mileage on classic cars should always be viewed alongside condition and documentation, the overall description seems to support the idea that this car has lived a relatively easy life. The seller mentions that the vehicle has spent much of its time in a garage, and honestly, that's exactly where you want a classic car to have spent its years. Garage storage can dramatically reduce exposure to weather, sunlight, and moisture, all of which contribute to deterioration over time. Under the hood sits the original 289 cubic inch V8, and personally, that's one of my favorite aspects of this fairlane. The Ford 289 is one of the most respected small-block engines ever produced. It earned a reputation for reliability, smooth operation, and surprising performance. It's the same engine family that helped establish Ford's performance reputation during the 1960s, and even today enthusiasts continue to seek them out. What I appreciate most about the 289 is its versatility. It's powerful enough to make driving fun while remaining dependable and easy to maintain. For many owners, that's the ideal combination. The automatic transmission further reinforces the idea that this fairlane was built to be enjoyed as a cruiser rather than a hardcore performance machine. Personally, I think automatic-equipped classics are often underrated because they make the driving experience more relaxed and accessible. You can simply turn the key, put it in gear, and enjoy the journey. The seller notes that the car runs and drives great, and honestly, that's one of the most important statements in the entire listing. A beautiful classic isn't nearly as enjoyable if it spends most of its life sitting in a garage waiting for repairs. Knowing that this fairlane is roadworthy and enjoyable to drive immediately increases its appeal. Another major positive is the rust-free condition. In my opinion, rust is one of the biggest factors affecting the long-term value and ownership experience of any classic car. Mechanical issues can usually be repaired relatively easily, but extensive rust damage can become extremely expensive and time-consuming. The fact that the seller specifically states the car is rust-free is very encouraging. The interior has also received some attention, with the seats and carpet being redone. Personally, I think that's a smart approach because it refreshes the areas you interact with most while preserving the overall vintage character of the vehicle. A clean, comfortable interior can completely transform the ownership experience. The exterior has been repainted once, which honestly isn't unusual for a 60-year-old vehicle. In fact, many classics have been painted multiple times throughout their lives. What matters more is the quality of the work and how well the finish presents today. The seller is refreshingly honest when describing the car. Rather than claiming it's perfect, they openly acknowledge that it has wear, tear, and imperfections. Personally, I appreciate that kind of transparency. It suggests realistic expectations and often gives buyers more confidence in the overall description. One interesting detail is the tinted windows. While window tint isn't necessarily original, it can make the car more comfortable during warm weather driving. The seller also points out that the tint can be removed easily if someone prefers a more factory-correct appearance. That's a nice option for buyers who value originality. The inclusion of a brand new carburetor and new shocks for all four corners is another positive. Even if they haven't been installed yet, having those parts available can save the next owner both time and money. In my opinion, it also shows that the seller was thinking about maintaining and improving the car before deciding to sell it. Perhaps the most telling statement in the listing is that the owner wants someone else to enjoy the car because it mostly sits in the garage. Classic cars are meant to be driven, admired, and shared. When a seller says something like that, it often suggests genuine enthusiasm rather than simply trying to move a vehicle for profit. The seller also mentions that the car attracts a lot of attention, and honestly, I can believe it. A clean 1965 Fairlane Sport Coupe isn't something you see every day. At local car shows, cruise nights, or even fuel stations, this car would likely draw interest simply because it's different from the usual Mustangs, Camaros, and Chevelles that dominate many events. At an asking price of $15,999, this fairlane appears to offer a lot of classic car value. You're getting a rust-free V8 powered coupe with relatively low mileage, a refreshed interior, a strong running drivetrain, and attractive styling for less than the cost of many modern economy cars. Number 7. 1977 Ford LTD2 Brougham. This 1977 Ford LTD2 Brougham is a well-preserved example of the large American personal luxury cars that dominated the roads during the late 1970s. Finished in green with a matching green interior, this full-size Ford embodies an era when comfort, smooth cruising, and traditional V8-powered motoring were more important than outright performance. With only 72,000 miles showing and a reported two-owner history, this LTD2 appears to have survived in remarkably original condition while benefiting from a substantial amount of recent maintenance. The LTD2 was introduced by Ford as an upscale intermediate model that combined the styling and comfort of larger luxury cars with somewhat more manageable dimensions. The Brougham trim level represented one of the most luxurious versions available, offering a more refined driving experience and a higher level of comfort than standard models. Today, these cars are becoming increasingly uncommon because many were used as daily transportation and few were preserved by collectors. One of the most appealing aspects of this example is its reported ownership history. According to the seller, the car was purchased from a retired firefighter in Wisconsin and has seen very limited use during the current ownership. Vehicles that remain with long-term owners often benefit from more consistent care and maintenance, and that appears to be reflected in the overall condition of this LTD2. Although the seller does not specify the engine size, most LTD2 Brougham models of this period were equipped with Ford's dependable V8 power plants. These engines were designed primarily for smooth operation, durability, and relaxed highway cruising rather than aggressive performance. Combined with an automatic transmission, the drivetrain provides the kind of effortless driving experience that made American luxury cars so popular during the decade. A particularly strong selling point is the amount of recent mechanical work that has already been completed. The seller reports replacing the carburetor, fuel pump, spark plugs, air filter, brake lines, brake pads, rotors, and calipers. These are some of the most common maintenance items that new owners often face when purchasing a classic vehicle, and having them already addressed represents significant value. The new carburetor and fuel pump should contribute to improved reliability and easier starting, while the ignition tune-up components help ensure smooth engine operation. Meanwhile, the brake system repairs are especially important from a safety standpoint. Replacing brake lines, pads, rotors, and calipers suggests that considerable attention was given to making the vehicle dependable and roadworthy. The seller states that the car is fully drivable, which is an important distinction in today's classic car market. Many vehicles offered at similar price points require substantial mechanical work before they can be enjoyed regularly. In contrast, this LTD2 appears ready to be driven and appreciated immediately. Visually, the green-on-green color combination is a perfect reflection of late 1970s automotive styling trends. While some buyers may prefer more modern color schemes, enthusiasts often appreciate these period-correct combinations because they capture the character of the era. The matching exterior and interior create a cohesive appearance that instantly transports viewers back to the late 1970s. Another advantage of vehicles like the LTD2 is their comfort. These cars were built during a time when manufacturers prioritized a smooth ride, generous seating space, and quiet highway manners. Long wheelbases, soft suspension tuning, and spacious interiors make them excellent choices for leisurely cruising and attending classic car events. From a collector's standpoint, the LTD2 occupies an interesting position in the market. While it may not command the values of a Mustang, Torino Cobra, or other high-performance Ford models, its rarity on today's roads actually makes it stand out. Many enthusiasts enjoy owning vehicles that are different from the typical muscle cars seen at every car show, and a clean Brougham certainly fits that description. From my perspective, the most attractive aspect of this particular car is the combination of low mileage, recent maintenance, and affordability. The seller has already invested in many of the repairs that typically concern buyers of older vehicles. Finding a running, driving, relatively low-mileage classic Ford with a substantial list of new parts for around $4,000 is becoming increasingly uncommon. The car may not be a tire-smoking muscle machine, but it was never intended to be. Instead, it represents a comfortable, stylish, and highly recognizable American cruiser from a unique period in automotive history. For someone seeking an entry-level classic that can be enjoyed without a major financial commitment, this LTD2 offers an appealing opportunity. Overall, this 1977 Ford LTD2 Brougham appears to be an honest, well-maintained survivor that retains much of its original character while benefiting from important mechanical updates. Its low mileage, two-owner history, recent repairs, and attractive asking price make it a compelling option for enthusiasts looking for a comfortable and distinctive classic Ford. This 1977 Ford LTD2 Brougham is located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and is currently being offered for sale at an asking price of $4,000, with the seller open to offers and possible trades. Number 8. 1962 Ford Galaxie 500 XL. This 1962 Ford Galaxie 500 XL is a classic full-size American coupe that embodies the styling, comfort, and V8 performance that helped establish Ford as a dominant force in the early 1960s. Finished in a striking red exterior paired with a matching red interior, this Galaxie captures the bold design philosophy of the era while offering a largely complete and functional package that appears ready to be enjoyed immediately. Showing approximately 81,000 miles, the car presents itself as an honest driver-quality classic with strong visual appeal and desirable big block power. One of the most attractive aspects of this particular example is its 500 XL designation. During the early 1960s, the XL package represented Ford's sportier and more upscale trim level, offering a combination of enhanced styling, improved interior appointments, and a more performance-oriented image. The 500 XL models have become especially popular among collectors because they bridge the gap between luxury and performance, providing a more premium driving experience than standard Galaxie models. Power comes from Ford's respected 390 cubic inch V8 engine, a member of the famous FE engine family. The 390 developed a reputation for strong torque, smooth operation, and dependable performance in a wide variety of Ford vehicles. Whether installed in passenger cars, trucks, or performance applications, the FE series engines became known for their durability and impressive pulling power. In a full-size Galaxie, the 390 provides effortless acceleration and relaxed highway cruising, making it an ideal match for the car's grand touring character. The engine is paired with an automatic transmission, creating a driving experience focused on comfort and ease of use. This combination allows the driver to enjoy the power of the V8 without the constant involvement of a manual gearbox, making the car particularly enjoyable for weekend cruises, local shows, and long-distance drives. The automatic transmission complements the Galaxie's role as a comfortable and stylish cruiser rather than an all-out performance machine. According to the seller, the vehicle fires right up, runs well, and drives properly. These are encouraging signs for prospective buyers, as many classic cars in this price range often require significant mechanical sorting before they can be driven regularly. The ability to start easily and operate reliably adds considerable value to a vintage vehicle and suggests that the car has been maintained well enough to remain roadworthy. Another noteworthy detail is that the seller reports that everything functions as it should, including the heating system. Functional accessories are often overlooked in older vehicles, yet they play a major role in the overall ownership experience. Having working systems throughout the vehicle indicates a level of care and maintenance that many classic cars no longer possess. Visually, the red-on-red color combination is one of the car's strongest features. During the early 1960s, bold color combinations were common among American manufacturers, and few combinations capture the spirit of the era better than matching red exterior and interior finishes. The result is a vehicle that commands attention while remaining true to its period-correct roots. The 1962 Galaxie itself occupies an important place in Ford history. This generation introduced cleaner, more aerodynamic styling compared to its predecessors and served as the foundation for many of Ford's early performance successes. The Galaxie line would go on to become one of Ford's most recognizable nameplates, and examples from the early 1960s remain highly regarded among enthusiasts who appreciate classic American design. The seller also notes that the vehicle comes with a clean and clear title, an important factor when purchasing any vintage automobile. Clear ownership documentation helps simplify the buying process and provides additional confidence for potential owners. While the listing does not mention extensive restorations or modern upgrades, that may actually be part of the car's appeal. Many enthusiasts appreciate classic vehicles that retain their original character and straightforward mechanical simplicity. The Galaxie's combination of V8 power, automatic transmission, functional systems, and period-correct styling creates an experience that reflects exactly what American motoring felt like during the early 1960s. Located in Abrams, Wisconsin, this 1962 Ford Galaxie 500 XL is offered at an asking price of $9,800. Considering its desirable 390 FE V8 engine, automatic transmission, 500 XL trim package, running and driving condition, functioning accessories, clean title, and striking red-on-red presentation, the car represents an appealing value in the full-size classic car market. Overall, This Galaxie 500 XL is a compelling example of Ford's early 1960s craftsmanship and design. It offers the combination of style, comfort, and V8 performance that made these cars so popular when new and continues to make them enjoyable today. For enthusiasts seeking an affordable full-size classic with strong visual presence and proven mechanical foundations, this 1962 Ford Galaxie 500 XL stands as an attractive and rewarding option. Number 9. A 1979 Mercury Cougar XR-7 that offers an affordable entry into classic personal luxury car ownership while retaining the V8 power, distinctive styling, and comfortable cruising character that made the Cougar a popular choice during the late 1970s. Finished in a brown exterior over a matching brown interior, this XR-7 reflects the design trends of its era, emphasizing comfort, elegance, and effortless highway travel rather than outright performance. By 1979, the Cougar had evolved significantly from its muscle car roots of the late 1960s. The XR-7 package represented the more upscale side of the Mercury lineup, offering additional trim, comfort features, and a more luxurious driving experience. These cars were designed for buyers who wanted a stylish coupe with V8 power and a smooth ride, making them ideal long-distance cruisers. Under the hood is Ford's dependable 302 cubic inch V8 engine, one of the most successful and longest-running engines in American automotive history. The 302 earned its reputation through decades of service in countless Ford and Mercury vehicles thanks to its durability, simplicity, and ease of maintenance. While emissions regulations had reduced horsepower figures by the late 1970s, the 302 still provided smooth operation and enough torque to move the Cougar comfortably in everyday driving situations. The engine is paired with an automatic transmission, a natural fit for a luxury-oriented coupe like the XR-7. This combination prioritizes relaxed driving and ease of use, allowing the car to perform exactly as it was intended, as a comfortable cruiser capable of covering long distances with minimal effort from the driver. One of the highlights of this particular example is the seller's statement that the car runs and drives well. For any classic vehicle, especially one approaching 5 decades of age, a solid running and driving condition adds considerable value. Rather than requiring immediate mechanical restoration, this Cougar appears ready to be enjoyed as a driver-quality classic. The seller also notes a significant recent investment in the air conditioning system, with approximately $2,000 spent on repairs and upgrades. Functional air conditioning is a highly desirable feature in classic cars, particularly those intended for regular cruising. Many vintage vehicles have non-working climate control systems, so having a properly functioning air conditioning setup can make ownership far more enjoyable, especially during warm weather driving. Additional positives include newer brakes and good tires. These items may not be glamorous upgrades, but they are among the most important maintenance components on any vehicle. Fresh braking components contribute directly to safety and confidence behind the wheel, while good tires improve ride quality, handling, and overall reliability. The exterior paint is described as being in good condition, although the seller notes that the car was repainted at some point in its life. Repainted classics are common, especially vehicles from this era that have been preserved and maintained over decades. Assuming the repaint was completed properly, it can help protect the body while maintaining the vehicle's visual appeal. Visually, the brown-on-brown color combination is very representative of the late 1970s. While modern buyers often gravitate toward brighter colors, earth tones were extremely popular during this period and contribute significantly to the car's authenticity and period-correct appearance. For enthusiasts who appreciate vehicles that truly reflect their era, this color scheme adds character and originality. The XR-7 trim level also helped distinguish the Cougar from more basic models. Mercury positioned the XR-7 as a premium offering, often featuring upgraded interior appointments and additional luxury touches. As a result, these cars delivered a more refined experience than many contemporary coupes in the same price range. From a collector's standpoint, late 1970s Cougars have remained relatively affordable compared to many muscle cars and performance vehicles. This affordability allows enthusiasts to enjoy classic car ownership without the substantial investment required for more sought-after models. At the same time, surviving examples are becoming less common as the years pass, especially those that remain complete and operational. From my perspective, the strongest feature of this Cougar is its usability. The combination of a reliable 302 V8, automatic transmission, functioning air conditioning, newer brakes, and good tires suggests a vehicle that can be driven and enjoyed immediately rather than one requiring extensive restoration. For many enthusiasts, that practicality is far more valuable than owning a more expensive classic that spends most of its time in the garage. At an asking price of $6,650, this 1979 Mercury Cougar XR-7 appears to offer a great deal of classic car value. It provides V8 power, distinctive styling, personal luxury car comfort, and road-ready condition at a price point that remains accessible to a wide range of buyers. Overall, this Cougar XR-7 represents a solid example of late 1970s American personal luxury. It combines dependable Ford mechanicals, comfortable cruising manners, period-correct styling, and recent maintenance into a package that appears well-suited for weekend drives, local car shows, and enjoyable classic car ownership without breaking the bank. Number 10. 1963 Ford Falcon Futura. This 1963 Ford Falcon Futura is a refreshing reminder that not every classic car needs to be a high-horsepower muscle machine to be enjoyable. Sometimes the most appealing classics are the ones that have survived largely unchanged, remain reliable after more than 6 decades, and continue to deliver the same honest driving experience they offered when they first rolled off the assembly line. According to the seller, this Falcon recently completed a 50-mile road trip and still drives much like it did in 1963, a statement that speaks volumes about its preservation and mechanical integrity. Introduced at the beginning of the 1960s, the Ford Falcon was designed as a compact and economical alternative to the large full-size American cars that dominated the market. It quickly became one of Ford's most successful vehicles and laid the foundation for several future models, including the original Mustang. The Falcon's simple engineering, lightweight construction, and dependable drivetrain helped establish a reputation for reliability that continues to make these cars popular among collectors today. The Futura trim level added a touch of style and sophistication to the standard Falcon package. While still compact by American standards, the Futura offered upgraded trim, more attractive interior appointments, and a sportier overall appearance. It was designed for buyers who wanted practicality without sacrificing style, and that combination remains appealing more than 60 years later. This particular example is finished in red with a matching red interior, creating a bold and distinctly early 1960s presentation. Color-coordinated interiors were a common design trend during the era, and when preserved properly they give classic cars a unique character that modern vehicles rarely replicate. The red-on-red combination helps this Falcon stand out while reinforcing its period-correct personality. One of the most attractive aspects of this listing is the seller's emphasis on originality. The vehicle is described as being all original and free from rust, two characteristics that are becoming increasingly difficult to find together. Many Falcons have been modified, restored, or repaired over the decades, making an unaltered example especially desirable for enthusiasts who appreciate authenticity. Rust-free condition is particularly important because early compact Fords were often vulnerable to corrosion after years of exposure to harsh climates. A solid body provides a valuable foundation for long-term ownership and eliminates one of the most expensive challenges associated with restoring classic vehicles. Power is routed through an automatic transmission, which complements the Falcon's easy-going nature. Rather than being a performance-oriented machine, the Falcon was designed to provide dependable and economical transportation. The automatic transmission makes it even more approachable for modern drivers and contributes to the relaxed cruising experience these cars are known for. The reported mileage of approximately 100,000 miles suggests that the vehicle has been enjoyed throughout its life, rather than hidden away in storage. For many collectors, that can actually be a positive sign. Cars that are driven and maintained regularly often avoid many of the issues that arise when vehicles sit unused for long periods. The seller's claim that the Falcon recently completed a road trip without issue further supports the idea that this is a functional, roadworthy classic rather than a dormant project. From a driving standpoint, the Falcon offers a very different experience compared to larger American cars of the same era. Its lighter weight and compact dimensions make it easier to maneuver, while its straightforward mechanical design keeps maintenance relatively simple. These characteristics have helped Falcons develop a loyal following among enthusiasts who value practicality and usability. The seller is upfront in describing the car as not a show car, which may actually increase its appeal for certain buyers. Rather than being an over-restored vehicle that owners are afraid to drive, this Falcon appears to be an honest driver-quality classic that can be enjoyed regularly. Cars in this category often provide some of the most rewarding ownership experiences because they balance authenticity with usability. At an asking price of $10,000, the Falcon occupies a segment of the classic car market that continues to offer strong value. While prices for many muscle cars and performance models have climbed dramatically over the years, Well-preserved compact classics like the Falcon often remain relatively accessible. This affordability allows enthusiasts to enjoy vintage car ownership without the financial commitment associated with more expensive collector vehicles. From my perspective, the strongest feature of this 1963 Falcon Futura is its apparent honesty. The seller is not presenting it as a concours restoration or a flawless showpiece. Instead, it appears to be a solid, rust-free, original car that starts, runs, and drives exactly as a classic Ford should. That authenticity can be far more appealing than excessive modifications or cosmetic perfection. Located in Clay Center, Nebraska, this 1963 Ford Falcon Futura is offered at $10,000 with a clean title and no significant reported problems. With its rust-free body, original condition, proven roadworthiness, automatic transmission, and striking red-on-red color combination, it represents an increasingly rare opportunity to own a genuine piece of Ford history. For enthusiasts seeking a dependable and character-filled classic that can be driven and enjoyed immediately, this Falcon Futura stands out as a particularly attractive option. Number 11. This 1965 Ford Galaxie 500 convertible is exactly the kind of classic American cruiser that reminds people why full-size convertibles remained so desirable decades after they were built. In my opinion, Ford was producing some of its most attractive full-size cars during the mid-1960s, and the 1965 Galaxie perfectly captures that era of style, comfort, and effortless V8-powered cruising. The first thing that stands out is the fact that this is a convertible. Personally, I think a Galaxie convertible offers a completely different experience than its hardtop counterpart. The long body lines, spacious cabin, and open-air driving experience create the type of classic motoring that modern cars simply cannot duplicate. When the top is down on a sunny afternoon, a car like this becomes more than transportation, it becomes an experience. The white exterior paired with a blue interior sounds like a beautiful and very period-correct color combination. In my opinion, white is one of the best colors for a full-size 1960s convertible because it emphasizes the elegant styling while giving the car a clean, sophisticated appearance. Combined with a blue interior, the overall look likely feels both upscale and timeless. It's the kind of color combination that would look just as good parked at a local cruise night as it would sitting in front of a beachside resort. One detail that immediately caught my attention is the seller's ownership history. They mention owning the car for 14 years, which is significant. Personally, long-term ownership is often a positive sign when evaluating a classic vehicle. People who keep a car for over a decade usually develop a strong connection to it and tend to invest time and resources into maintaining it properly. This doesn't guarantee perfection, of course, but it often suggests a level of care that's difficult to find with vehicles that change hands frequently. Perhaps the most impressive statement in the entire listing is that the car has never been wet during the seller's 14 years of ownership and has always been covered and stored during winter. Honestly, that's exactly the kind of information classic car enthusiasts love to hear. Exposure to rain, humidity, road salt, and harsh weather can be extremely damaging to vintage vehicles. Knowing that this Galaxie has spent years protected from those elements is a major positive in my opinion. The seller also notes that the car runs and drives great, and that's an important detail. Many vintage convertibles spend years as occasional show pieces, sometimes resulting in neglected mechanical systems. This Galaxie, however, sounds like a vehicle that remains functional and enjoyable rather than simply decorative. Under the hood sits Ford's 352 cubic inch V8 engine. Personally, I've always considered the 352 to be one of Ford's most dependable engines from the era. While it may not generate the same excitement as a high-performance 390 or 427, it provides exactly what a large convertible like this needs: smooth power, excellent cruising capability, and proven durability. The 352 was designed for effortless driving rather than dragstrip dominance, and in a Galaxie convertible, that feels entirely appropriate. I can easily imagine this car quietly cruising down a scenic highway with the top lowered, the V8 rumbling softly in the background, and passengers enjoying the kind of relaxed driving experience that has largely disappeared from modern automotive design. The automatic transmission further enhances that personality. In my opinion, a large luxury-oriented convertible like this is perfectly suited to an automatic. It allows the driver to focus on enjoying the scenery and the experience rather than constantly shifting gears. Another interesting feature mentioned by the seller is the dual glass pack exhaust system. Personally, that's something I would be curious to hear in person. Glass pack mufflers often provide a deeper, more aggressive exhaust tone compared to a factory system. While the Galaxie isn't necessarily a muscle car, A subtle V8 rumble can certainly enhance the driving experience without compromising the vehicle's classic character. The mileage is listed at 46,158 miles. As with any vehicle over 60 years old, I would view mileage alongside overall condition and documentation. However, if accurate, that figure would certainly support the impression of a well-preserved example. What I particularly like about this listing is its simplicity. The seller isn't presenting a heavily modified restomod or an over-restored showpiece. Instead, this sounds like a largely original classic that has been carefully preserved and enjoyed. In my opinion, there's something refreshing about that. Many enthusiasts today are beginning to appreciate originality and authenticity as much as outright performance. Cars like this tell a story through their preservation. At an asking price of $22,500, this Galaxie occupies an interesting place in the classic car market. Personally, I think full-size convertibles often provide tremendous value compared to many muscle cars from the same era. You still get iconic styling, a V8 engine, plenty of chrome, and a highly enjoyable driving experience, but often at a fraction of the price commanded by more famous performance models. That's one reason why cars like this continue to attract attention from collectors and hobbyists alike. What I love most about this Galaxie is that it seems to embody everything that made American convertibles special during the 1960s. It's large, comfortable, stylish, and designed for relaxed cruising rather than outright speed. Overall, in my opinion, this 1965 Ford Galaxie 500 convertible is a wonderfully preserved example of classic American open-top motoring. The attractive white and blue color combination, dependable 352 V8, automatic transmission, dual glass pack exhaust, long-term ownership history, and careful storage practices all contribute to a package that appears ready to be enjoyed immediately. It may not be the fastest Ford of its era, but it offers something equally valuable, an authentic and elegant driving experience that captures the spirit of 1960s America. And honestly, that's what makes a car like this so appealing more than 60 years later. Number 12. 1979 Cadillac DeVille Coupe 2D. This 1979 Cadillac DeVille Coupe is a classic example of American luxury from an era when Cadillac represented the pinnacle of comfort, prestige, and road presence. Finished in green with a matching green interior, this DeVille reflects the bold styling and unmistakable character that made Cadillac one of the most recognizable luxury brands in the world during the late 1970s. With approximately 77,000 miles showing on the odometer and an asking price of just $2,800, it presents an intriguing opportunity for enthusiasts seeking a full-size luxury cruiser on a budget. The 1979 model year marked an interesting period in Cadillac history. While manufacturers across the industry were adapting to changing fuel economy regulations and evolving consumer tastes, Cadillac continued to produce large, comfortable automobiles designed to provide a smooth and effortless driving experience. The DeVille Coupe remained one of the brand's most popular offerings, delivering the kind of spacious interior and elegant styling that buyers expected from a premium American automobile. One of the defining characteristics of the 1979 DeVille is its substantial size. Long, low, and unmistakably luxurious, the car was designed to make an impression wherever it appeared. The broad front grille, formal roofline, and generous proportions create a commanding presence that modern vehicles often struggle to replicate. Even decades later, a well-preserved DeVille still attracts attention simply because cars of this scale have largely disappeared from today's roads. Power is delivered through an automatic transmission, which was the preferred choice for luxury buyers of the era. While the seller does not specify the engine, Cadillac's V8-powered drivetrains were engineered to emphasize smoothness and comfort rather than outright performance. The result is a relaxed driving experience ideally suited for highway cruising and leisurely weekend drives. The green exterior paired with a matching green interior creates a very period-correct appearance. During the 1970s, manufacturers frequently offered coordinated color combinations that reflected contemporary design trends. Today, such combinations have become increasingly appreciated by collectors because they capture the authentic character of the decade. According to the seller, the car has been sitting more than they would like, which is the primary reason for the sale. Rather than allowing the vehicle to remain unused, the owner would prefer to see it enjoyed by someone who can appreciate and maintain it. This is a common story among classic car owners, particularly when time constraints prevent regular use. One notable detail is the removal of the original vinyl roof. The seller explains that the vinyl top was removed during the process of replacing the rear window. Vinyl tops were a signature styling feature on many luxury cars of the 1970s, but over time they could trap moisture and contribute to rust around window openings. In many cases, removing an aging vinyl roof can actually be beneficial from a preservation standpoint, allowing owners to monitor and maintain the underlying metal more effectively. The relatively low mileage of 77,000 miles is another appealing aspect of this Cadillac. Large luxury coupes were often used primarily for comfortable transportation and long-distance travel rather than daily commuting, which sometimes resulted in lower mileage accumulation compared to more utilitarian vehicles. While mileage alone does not determine condition, it can be an indicator of limited use over the years. Inside, the DeVille likely offers the spacious accommodations that made Cadillac famous. Wide seating surfaces, generous legroom, and an emphasis on passenger comfort were hallmarks of the brand. Even by modern standards, these cars provide an impressive amount of interior space and a relaxed driving environment. From a collector's perspective, late 1970s Cadillacs have gained increasing attention in recent years. For decades, many enthusiasts focus primarily on the tail-fin Cadillacs of the 1950s or the luxury cruisers of the 1960s. However, interest in 1970s American luxury cars has grown as collectors begin to appreciate their unique styling, historical significance, and relative affordability. From my perspective, the most attractive feature of this particular DeVille is the value proposition. Finding a complete, running, full-size Cadillac coupe with moderate mileage for under $3,000 is becoming increasingly rare. Even if a new owner chooses to reinstall a vinyl roof or address cosmetic details, the purchase price leaves room in the budget for personalization and improvements. The car may not be a concours-level show vehicle, but it appears to be an honest classic that could serve as a rewarding project, weekend cruiser, or entry point into Cadillac ownership. Its distinctive styling, comfortable nature, and affordable asking price make it especially appealing for enthusiasts who appreciate large American luxury cars. Overall, this 1979 Cadillac DeVille Coupe represents a chance to own a genuine piece of Cadillac history without a major financial investment. Its classic green-on-green color combination, relatively low mileage, full-size luxury character, and approachable price make it an attractive option for anyone looking to experience the unique charm of a late 1970s Cadillac. This 1979 Cadillac DeVille Coupe is located in Columbia, Missouri, and is currently being offered for sale at an asking price of $2,800. Number 13, 1966 Pontiac GTO Coupe 2D. This 1966 Pontiac GTO represents the kind of muscle car that serious collectors spend years searching for. While many GTOs have been modified, restored multiple times, or heavily customized throughout their lives, this particular example stands out because it is described as an untouched survivor, retaining much of the originality that has become increasingly difficult to find in today's collector market. Finished in silver with a black interior, this iconic Pontiac combines authentic muscle car heritage with a highly desirable factory drivetrain and a documented low-mileage history. Under the hood sits the legendary 389 cubic-inch Pontiac V8, equipped with the highly sought-after tri-power induction system. Featuring 3 two-barrel carburetors, the tri-power setup was one of Pontiac's most famous performance options during the 1960s and played a major role in establishing the GTO's reputation as one of the pioneers of the American muscle car movement. The system provides excellent throttle response, impressive power delivery, and a distinctive appearance whenever the hood is raised. For many Pontiac enthusiasts, a genuine tri-power-equipped GTO represents the ultimate expression of mid-60s performance. Backing the 389 is a 4-speed manual transmission, a combination that many collectors consider the ideal setup for a classic GTO. The manual gearbox allows drivers to fully engage with the car's performance characteristics while maximizing the enjoyment of the high-revving Pontiac V8. Together, the tri-power engine and 4-speed transmission create the type of driving experience that helped make the GTO one of the most respected performance cars of its era. According to the seller, the vehicle shows just 59,000 original miles. Low-mileage examples of first-generation GTOs have become increasingly scarce, particularly those that have not undergone extensive modifications or restorations. Originality is often one of the most valuable qualities in the collector car world, and vehicles that remain close to their factory configuration frequently command strong interest from enthusiasts seeking authentic examples. Adding to the car's desirability are its factory options. The GTO is equipped with power steering, making low-speed maneuvering easier while maintaining comfortable road manners. It is also a factory air conditioning car, a feature that was considered a premium option when new and remains highly desirable today. Factory air conditioning not only enhances comfort but also contributes to the vehicle's overall collectability, especially among buyers who appreciate well-optioned examples. Visually, the silver exterior gives the car a refined and sophisticated appearance that differs from many of the brighter muscle car colors commonly seen on GTOs. Combined with the black interior, the color combination creates a timeless look that emphasizes the car's clean lines and aggressive stance without appearing overly flashy. The result is a vehicle that attracts attention through its presence and authenticity rather than relying solely on bold paintwork. The 1966 model year is particularly significant in GTO history. Pontiac redesigned the GTO for 1966, introducing the smooth Coke bottle body styling that many enthusiasts consider one of the most attractive designs ever applied to the nameplate. Sales skyrocketed that year, helping cement the GTO's position as one of the defining muscle cars of the decade. Today, the 1966 model remains one of the most sought-after versions among collectors because of its combination of styling, performance, and historical importance. What makes this example especially appealing is the seller's emphasis on its survivor status. Survivor cars provide a direct connection to the past, preserving factory craftsmanship, original materials, and authentic details that can sometimes be lost during restoration work. Enthusiasts often value these cars because they tell a more complete story about how the vehicle existed throughout its life. The seller confidently states that finding another example like this would be extremely difficult, and based on the specifications provided, that claim carries significant weight. A genuine GTO, equipped with a 389 tri-power engine, 4-speed manual transmission, factory air conditioning, power steering, and reportedly only 59,000 original miles, checks many of the boxes collectors typically prioritize. Located in Canton, Michigan, this 1966 Pontiac GTO is offered at an asking price of $68,500. While that figure places it firmly within the collector-grade market, the combination of originality, desirable factory options, low mileage, and survivor status helps justify its position among premium examples. Overall, this 1966 Pontiac GTO represents far more than just another classic muscle car. It is a preserved piece of Pontiac performance history, offering the kind of authenticity that becomes increasingly valuable with each passing year. For collectors seeking a genuine survivor with one of the most desirable powertrain combinations ever offered in a GTO, this example presents a rare opportunity to own a significant chapter of American automotive history. Number 14. A freshly restored 1966 Dodge Dart GT hardtop that showcases the charm of Mopar's compact performance era while offering a blend of classic styling, upgraded drivability, and strong mechanical condition. Finished in an attractive blue exterior complemented by a matching blue interior, this Dart GT appears to be the product of a recent restoration and presents itself as a turnkey classic ready to be enjoyed on the road, at local car shows, or as part of a growing Mopar collection. The 1966 model year was an important period for the Dodge Dart. By the mid-1960s, the Dart had established itself as one of Chrysler's most successful compact cars, offering buyers a balance of affordability, practicality, and performance potential. The GT trim level added a sportier personality to the platform, giving the car a more upscale appearance while retaining the lightweight characteristics that made the Dart popular among enthusiasts. Power comes from Chrysler's dependable 273 cubic inch V8, an engine that played a significant role in the development of Mopar's small-block performance heritage. This particular example is equipped with a desirable 4-barrel carburetor setup, helping the engine breathe more efficiently and produce stronger performance than the standard versions. The 273 is known for its willingness to rev, smooth operation, and impressive reliability, making it a favorite among owners who appreciate classic V8 power without the weight and fuel consumption of larger big-block engines. Backing the V8 is an automatic transmission that makes the car easy and enjoyable to drive. The combination of a responsive small-block engine and automatic gearbox creates a relaxed driving experience that works equally well for cruising through town or enjoying longer highway trips. Unlike many heavily modified muscle cars, this Dart appears to maintain a balance between performance and comfort. The seller also notes that the car is equipped with power steering and power brakes. These features significantly improve everyday usability, especially compared to manual systems commonly found on vehicles of this era. Power steering makes low-speed maneuvering easier, while power brakes provide additional confidence when slowing down or stopping the vehicle in modern traffic conditions. One of the highlights of this Dart GT is the extensive restoration work recently completed. According to the seller, the car received new paint, a new vinyl top, new brakes, a new exhaust system, and a new set of tires. These are substantial improvements that address many of the key areas buyers typically examine when evaluating a classic car. Rather than facing a long list of deferred maintenance items, the next owner appears to be getting a vehicle that has already benefited from considerable investment. The fresh blue paint helps highlight the Dart's clean body lines and compact proportions. The seller states that the car was already very clean and straight before restoration began, suggesting that the project started with a solid foundation rather than a heavily deteriorated vehicle. This is often an encouraging sign because quality restorations generally begin with sound bodywork. Adding to the visual appeal is a vinyl top, a popular styling feature during the 1960s that gives the car a more upscale and period-correct appearance. Combined with the blue color scheme, the vinyl roof helps create a classic look that remains attractive more than half a century after the car was built. The upgraded dual exhaust system contributes both visually and mechanically. Beyond enhancing the car's appearance, it allows the 273 V8 to produce a more aggressive and enjoyable exhaust note while improving engine breathing. For many enthusiasts, the sound of a healthy Mopar V8 is a major part of the ownership experience. Additional equipment includes a factory-style tachometer and aluminum wheels. The tachometer reinforces the car's sporty character and gives the driver a better connection to the engine's performance, while the aluminum wheels add a tasteful custom touch without straying too far from the car's classic appearance. The seller describes the Dart as having lots of power, a statement that reflects the advantages of combining a relatively lightweight body with a 4-barrel-equipped V8. While the 273 may not produce the massive horsepower figures associated with larger Mopar engines, the Dart's compact size allows it to feel lively and responsive behind the wheel. From my perspective, one of the strongest qualities of this car is its overall balance. It offers V8 performance, recent restoration work, desirable options, and attractive styling without becoming overly modified or difficult to enjoy. It appears to be the type of classic that can be driven regularly rather than simply stored away as a showpiece. At an asking price of $19,950, this 1966 Dodge Dart GT occupies an appealing position within the classic car market. Many restored muscle cars have become increasingly expensive, making compact V8-powered Mopars like this an attractive alternative for enthusiasts seeking vintage performance and character at a more accessible price point. Overall, this 1966 Dodge Dart GT hardtop represents a well-restored and highly enjoyable example of Chrysler's compact performance heritage. With its 4-barrel 273 V8, automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, fresh restoration work, and attractive blue-on-blue presentation, it offers a compelling combination of classic styling, dependable performance, and ready-to-drive enjoyment for the next owner. Number 15. 1977 Chevrolet Nova. This 1977 Chevrolet Nova is not your typical survivor-grade classic or weekend cruiser. Instead, it appears to be a purpose-built project car aimed squarely at performance enthusiasts who appreciate drag racing, custom fabrication, and high-performance chassis setups. While many Novas from this era remain relatively stock, this example has already undergone extensive modifications that transform it from a simple compact Chevrolet into a serious foundation for a race-oriented build. The Chevrolet Nova earned a strong reputation throughout its production run for being lightweight, durable, and highly adaptable. These qualities made the platform a favorite among racers for decades. Whether competing at local drag strips or serving as the basis for high-horsepower street machines, Novas have consistently proven themselves capable of handling substantial performance upgrades. This particular car reflects that tradition, as much of the expensive chassis work has already been completed. One of the most significant modifications mentioned by the seller is the fully tubbed rear section. Rear tubs are commonly installed when builders want to fit substantially wider rear tires than the factory wheel wells will allow. This modification is often associated with drag racing applications, where maximizing traction is critical for putting power to the ground. Installing tubs requires extensive fabrication and is not a simple weekend project, making it one of the more valuable upgrades already completed on this car. Further supporting its performance-focused nature is the addition of a 4-link rear suspension system. A properly designed 4-link setup offers far greater adjustability than traditional leaf springs, allowing racers to fine-tune weight transfer and traction characteristics. This type of suspension is commonly found in dedicated drag cars and high-horsepower street builds because it can significantly improve launch performance and overall stability. The seller also notes that the Nova has received brand new brakes at all 4 corners along with dual Wilwood master cylinders. Wilwood components are widely respected within the performance automotive community for their quality and braking capability. A dual master cylinder arrangement provides improved control and reliability, especially in race applications where precise braking performance is important. These upgrades indicate that considerable attention has been paid to both safety and functionality. Competition engineering shocks are installed at all four corners as well. Competition engineering has long been associated with drag racing and high-performance suspension components. Their products are designed to help optimize chassis behavior during hard acceleration and improve overall vehicle control. Combined with a four-link suspension, these shocks suggest that the car was built with serious performance intentions rather than casual cruising. Another notable feature is the presence of a roll cage. A properly installed cage not only improves structural rigidity but also provides critical safety protection in competitive environments. Roll cages are often required once a vehicle reaches certain performance levels at sanctioned drag racing events. The inclusion of a cage further reinforces the idea that this Nova was intended to be much more than a typical street car. Unfortunately, the listing does not provide information regarding an engine, transmission specifications, or current running condition. The stated mileage of 1,000 miles may not accurately reflect total chassis mileage and should be viewed primarily as a placeholder figure. Potential buyers would likely want additional details regarding drivetrain components before making a purchasing decision. One important consideration is the lack of a title. Depending on local laws and intended use, this could significantly affect how the vehicle can be registered or operated. For buyers seeking a dedicated race car, the absence of a title may be less concerning. However, anyone hoping to return the vehicle to street use should carefully research title requirements in their state before proceeding. Despite that limitation, the value proposition remains interesting. Fabrication work such as rear tubs, four-link installation, cage construction, upgraded brakes, and suspension modifications can easily cost many thousands of dollars when performed professionally. Acquiring a vehicle that already includes these upgrades for an asking price of just $1,000 could represent a substantial savings for the right buyer. From a visual standpoint, the 1977 Nova retains the distinctive styling of Chevrolet's late 1970s compact lineup. While these models often receive less attention than their late 1960s counterparts, they have become increasingly popular among racers because of their relatively simple construction and excellent potential for performance modifications. From my perspective, this Nova's biggest strength is not what it currently is, but what it could become. The expensive and labor-intensive chassis work appears to have already been completed, providing a solid starting point for someone looking to build a serious drag car, street strip machine, or dedicated race project. Purchasing a stock car and performing all of these modifications from scratch would likely cost many times the asking price. Located in Baldwin, Michigan, this 1977 Chevrolet Nova is offered for $1,000. Featuring a tubbed rear section, four-link suspension, brand new braking system with dual Wilwood master cylinders, competition engineering shocks, and a roll cage, it presents a unique opportunity for performance enthusiasts. While the lack of a title and limited drivetrain information require careful consideration, the car's extensive chassis modifications make it an intriguing project for anyone seeking an affordable entry into the world of custom race car builds.